right. Hi, everybody. It's Dan Weinberger here, CEO of Morpheus.Network. I'm here with Simon Cocking again. Thank you for taking the time today, Simon, to meet up with me.
Look, it's good to talk again. It's one of these things I think it's good to check in every now and then and keep reminding people how far you have come, even though it feels like, you know, things move slowly. That's the nature of doing something that's bleeding edge like this, you know?
Oh, exactly. Oh, thanks for joining me as well. And we're just giving an update on how development's coming. It's coming, very quickly in general. But obviously, when it comes to implementing this on a global sense, there has to be levels of expectations that people have as well. So I just wanted to ask you, Simon. Obviously, what we're looking to do is revolutionize how the entire world sort of trades globally, so it's obviously a very ambitious sort of goal that we have there. And we're excited with the people that are, already joining us to test out our platform and try the system and, see how it improves and solves problems for themselves. So, you obviously want to comment on that for other businesses in the world, where you see that happening. So,
yeah, look, I mean, I think people forget that traditionally, if you look at General Electric and these other companies, they took a long time to grow. And this is the thing, like, we can now raise money super fast, but we still have to interact with the real world to grow things. And like you say, like it's a big, ambitious thing. That doesn't make it not possible. It makes it possible. But just because the ICO is done in 3 months, it doesn't mean that to do this right. I mean, normally, even to do China, each city is 1 million people, and it takes a while, to do the world region by region. So I think it's exciting, and I think the partnerships are the validation that people are buying into it. And at the same time, though, you have to make sure each partnership is right, and is it the right one at the right time. And all of this builds value, but it also takes time too. So I think it's great. And I think one of the things that people have to understand is it could still be 12 months post ICO before things really roll out to do it right.
Yes, and that's why we're taking extra precautions now when it comes to the platform itself. We have a new partnership with Hacken, actually. So
yeah,
as the platform is released in a global sense, they're going to have watchdogs in place to make sure that nothing else can possibly happen in that sort of sense as well. So we're excited. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I'd say, and Hacken are a really good company to partner with as well. I mean, because, I've been working with them, and they've been to Asia, and they're getting strong interest. So I think it's that thing that, when you partner with A-list people to partner with, it brings strength in, because they're really strong in other areas. So even, not everyone will know Hacken, but to me, I'm more excited now you have Hacken on board as well, because, we met them in Kiev, we've done things with them, and we know that they're really good guys, they're really focused. And the fact that you're over in the States, but you're bringing those guys in, and that's going to leverage it and bring partnerships. They were on a road trip in Asia 2 months ago, and so this is the whole thing, the value of network. And I think when you have strong partners, it makes it even more exciting and even more strong. And Hacken in particular are good guys. We met Dimitri, very smart, ex-military, they know their stuff. And these are great people to bring in, and this just doesn't happen by accident. This is about who are the people we want to partner with. So I just was saying that because they're people I've actually met and worked with as well. And I like them, and I think it's a strong partnership for you guys.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like them as well. They're very easy to talk to. And as the platform's rolled out and, having them on the team as well as, other strong teams as well. So, when it comes to, like you said, rolling out a new platform, it's not only about educating the public about a new technology, but it's actually a new company as well that they have to be working with. So, we handle the question all the time is, FedEx or UPS moving the entire system over to Morpheus.Network. And, to make a statement like that on a platform that hasn't even been released yet, that we don't have customers pushing volume through a platform before we can say that, a Fortune 500 or Fortune 100 company like that is going to be joining on is a little premature. Now, just say that we're not in talks with them, discussions, improving their technology, improving what they're doing as well, and helping out their clients, 100% yes. But to say they're going to move the entire platform into what we're doing, a little premature, like you're saying. So people have to sort of gauge your expectations when it comes to things like that. But we're very excited about the future and, how bright it is. And we see, other major, companies like IBM are, opening up to, supply chain on the blockchain as well. So
yeah.
It's great to see all these doors opening and people understand the value of this technology as well.
Look, I think it's this thing where, like IBM, because we've done stuff about what IBM are doing, they're aware of it, and they know the value, and they know sometimes that they can move faster with partnering partnering with someone like you, because like they're trying to do it internally, but they just sometimes haven't been able to move as fast as they can potentially move by you guys pushing it out. You have the freedom to do that in the way that internal projects within those big companies don't always. So, it is disruptive, and without it being a cliche, sometimes disruptive companies like yourself can move in and deliver a solution that just works better than something they could have developed internally. So I think it means you're pushing on an open door.
I don't disagree. And, when it comes to what, us with supply chain itself is we are laser focused into what we're doing as well. We don't have, 10 billion other projects going on with all these other companies. We're working on supply chain specifically, right? So even when it comes to new companies we're speaking to, it is, like you said, it's a lot easier to work with companies where we're directly talking to their CEO as opposed to 50 levels of the company to try to get something, pushed through. It does take time. And, we are definitely pushing through companies that we're not talking directly to the CEO at this point. But you can push something through in a day. The second the CEO says, this is what we're doing, next thing you know, they're testing it out, and that's it. It's pushed forward. So it takes all these different companies that aren't necessarily the IBMs or, the large companies in the world to push it through to show the value of the technology, and then have all these other companies fall like dominoes as well. So we're very excited about that. And I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to that. So.
And I think the two thing is, it's exciting. And those partnerships with the smaller companies mean that you learn a lot fast, and therefore like everything you learn, you're never going to make that mistake again with everyone else you work with. So these are the bits where it's like the swan with the legs paddling below the water. It might look like you're moving slowly because you're fighting against the current, but actually the things that you're learning are enabling you then to be able to move so fast when you work with the other companies. And like I was saying to you before we spoke, I mean, a couple of other ICOs that raised the money 12 months ago have been in, other people are saying, where have you gone for 12 months? But actually behind the scenes, they've been pulling off amazing partnerships, and they've got the tech right, and they've proved it. And these are all the things that back in the real world, 12 months would be nothing to move a company from an idea to a concept. But you guys have that, and we're just in a world where things move faster. And yet 12 months is a long time, but 12 months can achieve a lot. And so I think it's exciting. And then while also managing expectations that this doesn't mean Q3 or Q4 of this year necessarily, but it means that you're going to be well set as we move into the new year, and I guess this is positive as long as people understand and stay with that.
I completely understand that. And, when it comes to, the cryptocurrency space as well, things just move faster. One day feels like a week feels like a month, and so on and so forth. So, we understand the impatience. And when it comes to doing things like this, people don't realize that it's not just when they see us that we're thinking about the project. This is a 24/7 deal for the entire team. It's literally taken over not only my life, but everyone in our team's life as well, because it's not only something that we want for the community, but we're excited about the platform itself. We're excited about doing this for our clients and how this is going to be a profitable business for the future. So we're not thinking about let's say what the token price is going to be next week or a month from now. Or, doesn't really matter. It's all about creating this platform that's solid and being able to be used globally. And then from there, everything will fall into place. So we're not worried about the current state of affairs when it comes to the market and people asking questions about the bear market. We have no control over that. We're just going to create the platform that we know what we're doing and, push forward from there.
Yeah, look, and there's these two very contradictory trends where the market is flat, the market is down, but cumulatively for 2018, more money has been invested by big companies and venture capitalists in blockchain. So overall, the money is coming in, but at the same time, like you say, we have this volatility that makes people go, oh, it's over, it's moved, it's fallen 10% since yesterday. Whereas it really is about looking to January of next year and beyond. And therefore, we ride out this bubble. And, I think whenever things seem to be too good to be true, they are. And, see, in a bigger picture, when things like in Venezuela and in Turkey, when the currency falls, this is a validation of the value and the stability of crypto. But the trouble is that when crypto then does its own 10% flip in a day, we don't quite have the safe harbor yet as a counterpoint to fiat currencies. But I still feel in the long term, and when we even say long term, we're saying 6 to 12 months just to manage expectations that long term is more than real-time changes between yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So, like you say, I think almost there's still an education piece going on about the whole crypto market, as well as the value of what we're doing here. But then equally, like some people were saying to me, oh, I want to invest in something that I can sell next week when it's gone up ×3. And I'm like, well, I don't really want you to invest in a company like that, because that's just destabilizing and benefits nobody in the long term. And I think it's that thing to rein it back where, people felt it was a gold rush. People could get in and buy their Lamborghini, but, that doesn't really help anybody. So hopefully we're moving to more realistic expectations and less volatility in price, which means people can just get on with it and build out the product.
100%. I agree with you completely. And people are forgetting that if you look at the top 100 coins or tokens, how many of them are profitable as a business at what they are right now? It's not very many of them. It's more about investor money coming in for these ideas and these future goals. And if news comes out that something will happen in the future, something if the price is affected, and people forget that that's not actually revenue, for the actual company. That's just news that they've put out for the future. So to put out these products and put out these platforms are going to be profitable. We haven't even seen let's say the top 100, half of them are profitable companies, or a third of them are profitable companies. We haven't come close to seeing that. So right now the money we're seeing is a lot of investor money, which is hoping for the future. So to create a profitable platform, and we're just beginning really of this technology, and there's no fighting the technology right now. It's a battle of whether the money should be invested in it or not, or where people want to put their money, and the government's fighting it and all that. But you can't battle technology. If it's a better technology, that's what's going to win out at the end. And whether it takes, like you say, 6 months or a year, that's nothing in the long term. This is going to be technology that can be used for 100 years, right? So if it takes 6 months, a year, or even 5 years, the next 95 years are going to be pretty spectacular. So people got to keep their expectations sort of in check. And I think that in general things are going 100% in the right direction when it comes to blockchain, our project, and the space in general, for sure.
So that's cool. So I guess for people who are less close to the coal face as you, where do you think your business is going to evolve and grow fastest? Is it going to be US to Asia? Is it Asia to Africa? Or what areas are most exciting you?
Do you know what, to say that I'm choosing one geographic location and saying this is where it's most exciting for me, like my history in global trade itself. So I see all these businesses around North America. So Canada, US, Canada, and being able to, arrange customs over the border, and seeing all these companies sort of seeing how that automated process is going to really speed up what they're doing right now, right? I have a lot of my connections in China as well. I see the excitement happening there too, because they see the government's working on some things themselves, and there's a bunch of other projects there as well. But from a global sense, to export out of China into the States, into Canada, I'm seeing a lot of people ask for that as well. Our payment systems opening up a lot of doors as well when it comes to Latin America, as well as the United States as well. We have some Russian companies as well, super interested. Germany as well. So we're seeing it from not only smaller companies, importers, exporters, but companies on the enterprise level, where they're seeing the benefits of using a blockchain-based platform, being able to connect different APIs, using the systems they're currently using, connecting an API to another system to take advantage of a new technology. So we're seeing it from everywhere in the world, and Australia as well, a lot in the Netherlands as well, a lot of support there. And yeah, Latin America, South America, we're seeing, a lot of companies there are understanding that, payment systems and all that are just more difficult on a global sense to use than our system, basically. So, to say that it's a specific region is tough, but on a global level, we're getting lots of positive reaction for sure. So,
and then say with China's policy of belt and braces, and obviously by the nature of what you're trying to do, it is a global play. I'm guessing that things like the belt and braces approach, where they're trying to build out their infrastructure, that can only help. So we did stuff with the World Trade Organization, and it was only 12 months ago, and they were looking at, seamless movement between borders, so that as you approach the border, it's already happened on the blockchain, and that the lorry doesn't get spent 3 hours at the frontier. So what I'm hoping is there's a bit of a perfect storm between what you're offering, what countries like China are trying to build, and then what global organizations like the WTO are trying to facilitate, so that hopefully you're a piece of a bigger jigsaw. It's China, it's Georgia, it's Europe, and then it's down to Africa, or who knows. So I guess, do you see it? Is that the way that you're hoping it will roll out too?
Oh, 100%. Interoperability between all these different networks and systems. We're not saying that ourselves, we're going to change every single system there is out there. We're going to be hooking into these systems that are available. We're super excited with China's the OBOR project they got going through China, and being able to hook up as well. I know, right now there's complications when it comes to the Canada-US border and a bunch of tariff changes and all that, but hooking up through their system, using the system that's available and hooking it up to an automated smart contract, like you're saying, having things pre-cleared before the border, right down to the level of, a low inventory triggers an order, which triggers the customs to be taken care of before something gets down to the border. So you have no holdups on that end as well. That actually helps with, obviously, with congestion when it comes to leveraging AI across all these different shipping ports and destinations, making sure we're getting the containers in properly as well, as opposed to what goes on nowadays. So there's so many advantages to having these systems sort of preempting what's going to happen next in the supply chain, and we're super excited about that. It's all these different networks and all that. People, like you mentioned with IBM's project as well before, how tapping into their track and trace system with these containers. We're not tracking containers ourselves right now, but being able to tap into that system. So very excited about that. So there's so many new technologies out there, and the interoperability between all these supply chain techs is really how we're going to push this whole thing forward. So.
Yeah, look, I mean, and even when we talk about tariffs, I think for the last 40 years with GATT, the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs in the World Trade Organization, overall, the trend has been towards liberalization of trade because, overall, everybody wins that way. And I think, maybe we're having a bump in the road at the moment, but still the historical trend of the last 4 decades is overwhelmingly that ultimately, people are it's that model, where either you can be competitive or you can be cooperative. And overall, if you're cooperative, generally, if you're competitive, you might be 10 to their 0, but if you're cooperative, you might be 5 each, and without the risk of the 0, so that's the kind of economic model on it. So I'm guessing that, people every now and then get worried about where they are and if they're going to lose by foreign imports. But the thing is even somewhere like the US is actually so integrated to the rest of the world, with the things that it builds, that, it's like you put your finger in the dam and you might be pushing it here, but overall it's not recognizing that the US isn't an isolated country. It's deeply integrated with the rest of the world. And I think overall, economies of scale and economies of value and price are going to drive that, because if we want something wherever we're based, we look online first, and people are making decisions based upon price and quality, not generally location. So, I think again, you're going with an overall historical trend, even if there are tariffs on Canada. I don't think that's the long-term sustainable play.
I don't disagree. I think that in general, the play the United States is making right now, are they thinking the long term? They thinking 50 years or 100 years from now, this is going to be a profitable move sort of thing. They're thinking more of, satisfying people at the moment, and their own people, I should say, more than people in general, obviously. So, listen, Canadians are, I know, hardworking, honest people in general, and, we're going to keep on moving out when it comes to the tariffs and all that. It's just a percentage everyone's taken and they know about it. And that's built into the custom system. So I get the question a lot: is our platform going to eliminate those tariffs? That's not possible. We're not trying to circumvent any government systems or anything like that at all. We have to work with these systems available. We're going to make it a lot easier to get these tariffs charged to you, basically, by the customs department. So, in the future, do I think that tariffs, the harmonized codes are going to affect us positively or negatively? They're going to come down in general from what they are right now. That's just my honest belief, and it's just going to be beneficial from a business perspective in the United States as well to lower these tariffs when it comes to Canadian trade. So, I think we've covered an amazing amount of topics today, and I really appreciate you taking the time, of course, as always, Simon, and your knowledge and wisdom with supply chain as well, amongst other topics, obviously is very well respected. So thank you so much for taking the time today.
Too kind. And look, I'm enjoying the interviews you're doing with the other guys as well. So I think it helps to educate all of us. So keep doing it, and I look forward to seeing, cycling through. Talk to me, talk to the other guys, and I think we all learn from it. So thanks as well.
Hey, no worries. No, thanks again. I thank you, of course, and we'll definitely arrange the one again. Hopefully in a week or so. And every time we do one of these chats, I get tons of messages from people say, "Do more with Simon. Do more with Simon." So you have a lot of Morpheus, fan club members as well. So.
No, that's cool. I like listening to the other guys rather than myself, actually, though.
I think that all the time too. I'd rather have other people speak, but people ask me to speak too. So who am I to say no? So well,
Awesome. Cool.
great talking to you, Simon. Thank you, sir.